Hello and welcome to the HQ Movie Review Podcast. I'm Josh,
I'm Brandon.
I'm Jack.
And I'm Heather.
and this week we watched The Lion King.
The good
Lion
one.
King. Yeah, the one that, emotes. So, let's all go through our history with this movie. I've seen it several times as a child and, through till today. I also have some of the songs, in my iTunes currently.
I've seen this movie as a child several times, have not seen it since being an adult, and, getting all of the references and jokes and stuff. So this is my first adult watch through of The Lion King.
Yeah, you could really tell that it was your first adult watch through The Lion King, Josh. I had watched this movie several times growing up, so.
Which wasn't that long ago.
Not very long ago.
I watched this probably, I don't know, I could probably count on one hand the amount of times I've seen this movie, but it was all when I was, elementary school. I haven't seen it recently, so a lot of the jokes that went over my head then have been kind of spoiled for me because of the internet, but it was my first adult watch through, I guess.
I feel like you didn't react as much as Josh did.
Because I knew all the jokes.
Yeah, he full on belly laughed at some things that that everyone else just kind of chuckled at.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that. It's, some people would pay good money to experience something again for the first time.
Yeah, it was good. I enjoyed it. It were definitely some of the jokes I was like, I remember vaguely this as a child. I 100% get this now. This is great.
So, the first note I have written down is not even something from the movie, and it's Scar's real name, which I think everyone here knows, right?
Oh,
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not. It is a well-known piece of trivia, but it's still hilarious to me that their parents were like, yes, our firstborn son, King. Our second-born son, Trash.
Oh, man.
And then King goes on to have a son and names him Lion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Their naming scheme wasn't the best.
Well, listen, if he named him Prince, it would have been really awkward when he ascended to the throne.
What does Nala's name mean?
Nala's name means, I just passed it, gift.
Ah,
Interesting.
So yeah, all the names that mean something. Simba's Lion, Nala is gift. Sarabi is Mirage,
ooh.
which is interesting.
It just sounds nice,
Yeah, Rafiki is friend.
of course.
Pumbaa is simpleton or weak-minded, which is a little bit rude.
It's accurate, though.
Yeah.
And then Shenzi means barbarous, uncouth, uncivilized, or savage.
Accurate.
Mm-hmm.
Ed.
Ed.
I think we got that one.
He's just Ed from Ed, Edd, and Eddy.
He is.
So, couple things. Because I haven't seen this in a very long time, I did not remember just how little Rafiki is in this movie.
Yeah, he's not in this a whole lot.
Yeah, he's there in the beginning, a little bit after the middle, and then at the very end.
And he kicks some hyenas,
Yeah, he just kind of shows up and, kicks some hyena ass for a sec, is in a 10-second tops clip. And then that's it until the very end.
He's the high priest. He's a witch doctor. He knows kung fu.
Yeah, he sees some seeds and dirt on the wind, grabs it, realizes Simba's alive.
Yeah, I mean, he's by far the most magical character.
Oh yeah,
Besides, Ghost Dad.
it's amazing how little screen time. I vividly remember this character as a child, but he's in this movie so little.
He is in, we're looking at Disney Plus right now. He's in the promotional image right next to Timon and Pumbaa.
Yeah, he's in almost all the promotional images for, everything that I've seen.
And he doesn't meet, he meets Simba as a child, as an infant. He doesn't talk to Simba until almost the end.
Yeah,
Which, I mean, it's an hour and a half movie. It's not saying a lot.
still. Also, Mufasa lived way more. He was alive,
I think it was
way
like
more than
36 minutes.
It
was
was like
the-
almost 40 minutes, yeah.
yeah.
way over a third of the way into the movie.
Percentage wise, that's got to be a record for like Disney parent who is fated to die.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like Bambi sets the speed record.
Well,
Lion King sets
Mufasa
the
sets the
long-
endurance.
Yeah.
well, now does Bambi set the speed record? I'm sure that some Disney movie the parents are just already dead ahead of time.
Well, then that
doesn't
doesn't count.
You have to be alive at some point, like
Yeah,
during
it's
the movie.
fated to die, not already dead.
How long did it take in Bambi for the mom to die?
It was real quick.
Yeah, first or second scene.
Very long.
Also, Timon, way more of a dick than I remember.
Yeah.
What? Timon's great.
Timon's great, but also he fully like manipulates Pumbaa in the beginning.
And
As far
also
as-
Simba.
Yeah, no, he's definitely like
I feel like the Simba one is justified though, at least in the beginning. It's like, oh yes, this thing will grow to kill us. We need to cripple him as much as possible, like socially, so he will not kill us.
it's dual. It's a dual thing. You know, it's like, hey, we don't want him to kill us now, and also we want protection later, so that if more lions show up, we have a lion of our own. And while a good plan, like logically, still a bit of a dick move, you know?
Yeah.
You're right. They should have left him to die in the desert.
Nah.
Should have just let those vultures get him.
It has nothing to do with what they did, but his rationale for doing it. Regardless, he did treat Pumbaa
He was
like an idiot.
I mean, we did just go over what Pumbaa's name means.
Yeah.
And Pumbaa does spend a lot of this movie confused. Like, he has a few moments of like clarity and like, oh, he's actually smart. But then most of the movie, he is just kind of dumb and confused.
Like Mater.
Yeah, he's like Mater, but he's endearing.
Oh yeah. No, for sure.
The difference between Pumbaa and Mater is that they were able to give Pumbaa his own movie, and it wasn't bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, so some of just little things I didn't expect based on how I remembered the movie. You know, different characters being like having different, you know, impacts on the movie. Zazu, only important in the beginning. After that, he's gone. Aside from one scene where he's in a cage.
And he sings the coconut song.
He does
He
sing
does
the
sing the
coconut
coconut
song.
song.
That's a very important song, okay?
It
I love
is.
that song.
Why is it important?
I don't know, I just really like it.
No, explain it.
There's nothing to explain. I just really like the coconut song. I also like the It's a Small World joke.
Oh, that was great. I love how quick Scar shut that down.
Speaking of songs, it really bothers me that Disney Plus doesn't have the version. I mean, maybe that's the version down there in the suggested. But-
No, that's the bad one.
Oh yeah, that
Yeah.
is the CG one.
Yeah.
So yeah, they don't have the version with the Morning Report song. Like not a couple years ago, it was a very long time ago. But after the movie went to Broadway, they added a bunch of extra songs. The Morning Report was a song that they actually re-released the movie with, where Zazu sings a song full of animal puns while Mufasa is doing the pouncing training.
I don't think I've ever heard that.
Neither have I.
It's very pleasant. It's jaunty. And they don't have that version. Or if they do, they don't advertise it as much as this version. Which is a little sad. I like that song.
I feel like they just don't have it on Disney Plus.
That's
Probably
also
not.
entirely possible. It's in the vault.
Speaking of Broadway, though, this has definitely been like an experience watching like older Disney movies that were like clearly musicals, and seeing just kind of how they're structured, very similar to like Broadway musicals.
Oh yeah.
And it's real interesting because it's like they took a Broadway script and just made it into an animated movie instead. You can really tell.
Well, I mean, they took a Shakespeare script and made it into a Broadway musical animated movie.
Okay. Still.
They
Yes.
took Shakespeare, made it
They put
animals,
it through a Broadway filter and then
and
animal
then
filter.
put Broadway on it. Yeah.
I mean, regardless, it's still like it's interesting to see like how they have everything set up as far as Like, watching this, I could fully envision this as a Broadway.
Oh yeah, the opening number, scene change, character introduction. It's very Broadway.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like point for point. I also really like that the first movie is Hamlet, and the second movie, technically the second movie, is Romeo and Juliet, and Lion King 1.5 is not either of those things. It's nothing.
Lion King 1.5 is better than Lion King 2.
Well,
Better than both Lion Kings.
I wouldn't say.
I
it's
wouldn't
better
say
than this
that.
one.
It's definitely better than Lion King 2.
I
It's-
enjoyed it more as a child than I did the first Lion King.
That's fair.
Lion King 2 is just a trip in of itself.
Yeah.
It is just a wild ride.
Lion King 2 or Lion King 1.5?
2.
Oh, okay.
Lion King 1.5
like-
is the undershadow of Lion King.
Isn't Kovu like Scar's adopted son? Like in a sense.
I don't remember if he's adopted or if he's like biological. I mean, they added a whole second pride for Scar essentially.
Yeah.
But I mean, if lion incest is your worry, I have some bad news for you about how prides work in,
Oh
in
no,
the
no,
savannah.
no. It was just weird to think that Scar had a family that wasn't just, Simba.
Yeah, no, that is the weird thing, is that there's a whole other like secondary pride of lions out there that Scar never mentions in the first movie.
Or goes to see. 'Cause
Yeah.
he's hanging
Or-
out at Pride Rock the entire
Yeah.
time.
Or brings to Pride Rock after he's king.
yeah.
Yeah. Cause like the mom of like the, I guess band lions. I don't remember what they're called.
Did they have a name? Like a group name?
They were like in the Badlands. Like
Yeah.
that they were like exiled to the Badlands. But like Kovu's mom basically was the love interest for Scars. Like where did this come from? Why do you exist?
came from their desire to make a sequel.
I'll be honest, I barely remember anything from Lion King 2.
Yeah, I don't remember
Yeah.
a single thing.
I remember so much. I watched Lion King 2 more than I watched Lion King.
I watched 1.5 more than anything.
Yeah.
I also watched 1.5 more than anything, but that's specifically because my nephews loved that movie, and that was their go-to road trip movie for like years. So I got very familiar with Lion King 1.5 and also the Lion King 1.5 bonus disc.
Yes, the bonus disc. It had that game on it.
Yeah, the
Oh,
roller coaster thing.
That was the most
Oh,
fun
that was
thing.
great.
Yeah, there was a point where I had memorized every single permutation of that track. Because part of it was like, oh, you have to choose left, right, or whatever. Like, you have to choose which way you want to go.
Yeah.
They had played that game so many times in the car that I had memorized every variation of that track.
Oof.
Also, Raven Simone singing "Grazing in the Grass." That music video was on there. Anyway, we can get to that when we get to Lion King 1.5. Josh, I want to go back to in the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
You had never seen. We had the subtitles on. You had never seen the subtitles for the Circle of Life song.
Yeah, I've never seen the lyrics for the Circle of Life written out before.
Yeah,
I've never looked up the lyrics. I've never seen them. So I just kind of like knew in my head how the song was supposed to sound, but I've never seen them written out.
Yeah. So I take it you don't know what the lyrics mean then.
I did look up the lyrics meaning at some point, but I never saw like the actual song lyrics in their original language.
Okay. Because like up until the point where it says Baba, if you remember Black Panther, Baba means like dad
Yeah.
or father.
Yeah.
So the whole first line, which I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm not fluent in Swahili. I'm not gonna try and pronounce it correctly without the words in front of me. But the first line is essentially it starts out dumb and then loops back around to smart, because the first line's, "Hey, it's a lion, Dad, it's a lion," is what that means. But it gets smart again because it's like lion and king are synonyms,
Okay.
sort of, or I think they're the two words are connected, and they're specifically using like the form of lion that means king.
Okay.
So it's like, oh, there's symbolism in these lyrics that the domestic audience is not going to understand, but it's there. It's very cool that they put that thought into it.
nice.
So according to IMDb, the lyrics are, "Here comes a lion, father. Oh yeah, it's a lion. Here comes a lion, father. Oh yeah, it's a lion. A lion we're going to conquer. a lion, and a leopard come to this open place.
Yeah. So it sounds kind of dumb if you read like the literal translation, but it's specifically it's the form of lion that means king. So it's like, oh, it's a king. There's more meaning in it than the base definition, but it's neat that they put that in there. It could have just been like nonsense, nothing, but Disney put a lot of effort into these. I'm also disappointed that He Lives in You isn't in this, but I don't think that one ever got put into a movie. I think that one's just Broadway, as long as we're talking about songs. He Lives in You is a really good song.
So can we talk about how 2D animation holds up so well over time?
Oh yeah,
It does.
like 2D, like cell animation, cell shading. I mean, it's
Yeah.
really good. It's always like that's my thing with like video game graphics. 2D cell animation is always gonna look like a really good cartoon. Trying to make it realistic is gonna look bad in a couple of years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I really wish that was the only problem with the CG Lion King,
Yeah.
the quote unquote live action. It also bothers me that they called it live action. There's no fucking people
Yeah.
in that. The Jungle Book was live action because Mowgli was a person. This is a CG movie.
Terrible.
See, but they can't really call it animated either.
I mean,
It
the
is animated.
It literally is, though. which is
Literally,
the
by
issue.
the definition of animated, it is animated.
I understand why they were like, oh, this is our photorealistic CG animated movie, because that's a mouthful, and the general audience isn't going to want to see that. But it's not live action. The real problem with that movie is that they were trying way too hard to make it realistic. But cartoon lions can emote like humans with like eyebrows and faces and stuff, and real lions can't. So when you have lion cub Simba look at his dead father, and he makes, expressions the way a lion would make expressions, it does not translate the same.
Nope.
It doesn't incite the empathetic response.
Yeah. Also, they took out Be Prepared, and I understand why. Like, we can't. I mean, we can, but they didn't want to recreate that scene shot for shot because, goose stepping hyenas, maybe not the best imagery decision, but also they could have just not done that part. Like,
Yeah, they could have just
Everything
made it
else is
different.
fine.
yeah, just remake the song, have them step normally, don't even make them march, just do something else. They had
could
options.
have dancing. They could have do anything.
Yeah, they could have had more of them rising up on that crazy mountain thing. Were they on a volcano? What was that?
Yeah, for real. What is that like? The noxious
they're on-
elephant corpses decomposing.
They were on a bunch of still,
Like it was green.
that was mood lighting. It was red when Zazu was there.
That's true.
But yeah, no, they could have done so many other things.
Also, they had
Besides just-
a red boiling pot of
That was another geyser.
It was a geyser.
yeah. But why was it red and boiling?
The same reason they were green later.
Mood lighting.
But it's instead of thinking up a new visual, there's no, just cut the song out. Like, it's a villain song. Villain songs are some of the best songs in any given movie.
Absolutely.
Especially in this movie.
Especially in
Prepared.
this movie.
It's much
Be
better than
Prepared
any
is
of the other
great.
songs.
Like this movie, Be Prepared, and Hakuna Matata, and Circle of Life. Those are the big three songs come out of this movie. There's more songs, but those are you think of Lion King. Those are
Yeah.
the songs you're thinking of.
Those are the playlist songs. Not like my playlist, but like a child's playlist. Those are the songs they want to sing. Also, I do have a fun fact about Hakuna Matata, not the song, but the phrase.
Okay.
So, several years ago, one of my sisters was a census taker. And so, one of the things about the census is that you're going door to door to people, and you have to let them know, hey, I'm here with the government, I'm here to ask you questions, but you're not in trouble. So, they give you a list of phrases in various languages to say, hey, everything's alright, no worries. And Hakuna Matata is on that list.
Damn.
Nice.
Interesting.
It's funny to think about it being used in literally any other context.
And you said it's alright, and now I can't get the Hero Academia OP out of my head.
Don't bring anime into this.
Terrible.
The funny thing is, it's not alright.
Oh, we can't do an anime podcast.
We can't just not. We can do we can do another podcast.
Nah, it's impossible.
Not with that attitude.
We could though.
So I want to talk about how good James Earl Jones is as Mufasa.
Good lord,
Like,
he's amazing.
He says that he's disappointed, and I felt bad.
Oof.
He was so good, they kept him for the remake.
Yeah.
They did.
Oh man, like he does such a good job, and his voice is so deep. I love it.
Yeah.
The bass.
Oh yeah, no, he's like when you can speak entirely through the subwoofer. That's amazing.
Like it'd be one thing if that was just it, but he's also just like a really good actor.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Wild.
absolutely. It's also when he comes out and says you deliberately disobeyed me. I have a vivid recollection of the fact that was where I learned the word deliberately. Before watching this movie, I had no idea what the word deliberately meant.
Disney movies are educational.
Woo.
Yeah. Like when you watch this movie and you learn about the concept of death.
And murder.
It's great.
And Shakespeare.
Yeah, that's like any Disney movie. Well, like death. Most Disney movies give the concept of death.
Yeah, like literally 5 seconds after like he's run off, they're like, "Oh, murder him. We're gonna kill him." The hyenas, anyway. And then a few seconds after that, they have to cut Pumbaa off from saying the word fart.
It is a wild, like, American censorship really is a wild ride.
Yeah.
We can show someone murdering someone on screen. We can have people shout threats they're going to murder someone. But fart? Nah, we can't.
Too much.
We can't say
Too
that.
much.
You can make a lion have bedroom eyes, but you can't say the word fart. I hate that shot so much.
So bad.
It's like, why?
It's
so bad.
terrible.
Stop.
Terrible.
So in the original plot, the reason that Nala leaves and ends up finding Simba is because Scar banishes her for denying his sexual advances. But they had to leave that out of the film because it would have given the film a PG-13 rating.
Isn't
Fair.
this one of the few PG rated Disney films?
It's G.
It's rated.
Yeah.
Why
it's-
is this
it's
rated G? Like,
Because they only
lack
said
of-
kill once.
Yeah, a lack of blood.
well, the thing is,
They
like,
said murder many times, but kill once.
but like, I would say this film is more violent than Tangled, right? Tangled was the first PG rated Disney film.
I think the issue with Tangled is that Rapunzel literally has like a cast iron pan that she smashes people's faces in with, and that's
Yeah.
something you can actually do.
That's recreatable. Also, doesn't Mother Gothel stab?
But, yeah, but there's no blood.
Yeah, but it
actively
still
stabs him.
stabbing a
Like,
person.
when is a
Well,
kid gonna get
yes.
trampled by wildebeest?
But there's still a lot of violence in this film. I was like, surely this is rated PG.
I'll be
it's
honest, the
not-
fight looked a lot like hugging.
It's
It
not
did.
imitatable violence.
It's not like very graphic violence, but there is a lot of violence in this film.
But that's the difference. It's not imitatable. Children are never going to be lions, so they don't have to worry about kids
It
trying
just
to.
shocks me that this film is rated G. Like, surely having an on-screen death, like, of a parental figure, like, kids can understand that. Like,
that's-
surely parental guidance should be suggested.
Well, that's the thing. He isn't on screen when he dies. He falls. We cut away to Simba yelling no, and we cut back, and he's already dead. Who knows what happened in that,
That is
interim?
still a dead body on screen. Like,
Yeah,
I
Scar
still-
dropped a disembodied zebra leg in front of the hyenas, who
why
ate it
is
just
this
below
film
screen.
rated G? Like, it should be rated PG.
Because
like-
animals eat animals all the time.
Well, yeah, but at the same time, parental guidance should be suggested.
Clearly, Disney doesn't care as much about animal corpses as people corpses. You heard it here first.
Yeah, this becomes way more like gruesome if you just swap this out for people.
Yeah, no. If you swap it out for people, it's absolute one. It's a whole lot of cannibalism going on, but then two, it is absolutely above G for people. We can get serious for a second. It's not that serious. It's a bit of symbolism I really like is that when Mufasa is talking about nature, he calls it the circle of life. Like it's balanced. Everyone is eaten at some point. But when Timon talks about it, he talks about it as a food chain. It goes in one direction. Like his view of it is very limited and rigid.
Yeah.
And it's not complete. I thought that was a really nice bit of symbolism that isn't really acknowledged. But it's neat to see their like ideological differences, even in small bits of dialogue like that.
I do feel like it's easier to understand that it's a circle if you are like top of the food chain.
Yeah.
And like royalty, and you're like, oh, eventually I do die, and then the vultures eat me and whatever. But as a meerkat who just eats like bugs and has to worry about being eaten by lions, he just sees the immediate things above and below him.
Right. Like as a meerkat, he probably rarely gets to see the end of a lion's life cycle. So he's like, all right, well, a lion eats me, and then after that, I don't care.
Yeah, I'm gone. It's kind of like, looking from afar and seeing a forest versus being something in the forest and you only see trees.
Yeah. You've deconstructed the idiom.
Yeah.
I really want to show you, like, this is unrelated to the thing I just talked about. I really want to show you guys the Kingdom Hearts 2 version of all of the scenes in this movie.
Oh my gosh, they're terrible.
Because
like,
it's PlayStation 2 graphics.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah,
It's great.
It's awesome.
Like, if you thought... the funny thing is they still emote better than the CG movie lions.
They do.
Oh no.
But it's not good, but it is better.
I do have to say one of my favorite things, just in regards to the Kingdom Hearts 2.
Is it Pete?
No.
What? We'll get to that. Say your thing.
But, like, in Kingdom Hearts 1, it was just Sora going into these worlds, right? Like, he didn't, like, nothing special happened.
I mean,
But,
he
like,
went to Atlantica. I almost said Aquatica. He goes to Atlantica and does become
yeah,
a different
that's
kind of
like-
merman.
That's, like, the only time, though.
Well, no, in Halloween Town he gets like
Yeah.
a vampire transformation.
Yeah, okay, so, like, it doesn't happen often, but, like, But he goes to the Lion King place, right?
Yeah, Pride Lands.
Yeah, he goes to the Pride Lands, and he's just a person. Is he not?
No, he's a lion cub.
He is?
Yeah.
Oh, for some reason I thought it was different from Kingdom Hearts to Kingdom Hearts 2.
Well, no, because he never goes to the Pride Lands in Kingdom Hearts 1. He only summons Simba.
Oh, okay. That's what I was thinking
Yeah.
about. Because, like, there's a whole scene where it's like, Simba, it's me, I'm Sora. And he's like, what?
Well, no, it's funny because, like, in Kingdom Hearts 1, summons are completely optional. You can finish the game without summoning a single character. But then you show up in the Pride Lands in Kingdom Hearts 2, and Simba, who is now an adult, attacks you. Because, like, who the fuck is this new lion trying to muscle into my area? And he tackles you, and then he sees Sora as a lion cub and instantly remembers human Sora from the first game.
Oh.
He's like, Sora, what are you doing here? And he never questions why Sora is a lion.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it's real fun.
Yeah.
There's a whole
Kingdom
lot.
Hearts is a special game.
Yeah, there's a whole lot we can talk about there. So, Sora shows up, and he's a lion, and he has, like, a little bit of his anime hair, and it's justified in that he's, a male lion. He's adolescent, so he's getting the mane in. Like, Donald and Goofy show up, but they can't be anthropomorphic animals in The Lion King. So, I want you two who have not played Kingdom Hearts,
Oh boy.
please
Oh,
tell
okay.
me what animals you think Donald and Goofy are in the Pride Lands.
Donald is somehow a hornbill.
Alright, that's okay. Yeah, and Goofy?
He wouldn't be a hyena because they're apparently evil.
Racist, but on brand for Disney. Continue.
A giraffe.
A giraffe. That is a wild size compared. A lion cub, a bird, and a fucking giraffe. Brandon, do you have any guesses?
See, the only thing I can go off of is Mickey's PhilharMagic, and where Donald is still a duck when he visits the Lion King area.
All right, that is a solid base for reasoning. Okay.
But I feel like Goofy would just become a warthog and be pals with Pumbaa.
Oh boy.
All right, cool. Neither of you are 100% correct. Donald is a bird. He's not a duck. He's some other kind. His head stays the same. The rest of his body is just a regular bird. Like,
Okay.
I don't know what kind of bird he is. He's not
Okay.
a duck.
Interesting.
All right, Goofy is a turtle. He's a tortoise.
I'm sorry. What?
Why?
His head is the same. He has a tortoise body.
He's not even a mammal.
No, he's a reptile now.
Nope.
It's important. It is important to note that,
Here's Donald.
yeah, that she's showing them a picture of Donald as
Oh,
some kind of bird.
okay.
It
Yep.
looks like Zazu's wings.
It does
And
look kind of like
here's
something.
Goofy.
I hate it.
What?
That looks photoshopped.
What
That
is
just looks
that?
like amateur Photoshop.
Okay, so
Not Photoshop.
important context. In Kingdom Hearts, Donald is a mage. He wields a staff. Goofy is a knight who wields a shield.
Okay.
And so when they go to Atlantica and they visit Little Mermaid, Goofy is a sea turtle. And so to keep continuity with his shield and his previous animal transformation, he becomes a tortoise.
That looks so bad. I'm sorry.
This looks
Um.
terrible. Also, Donald as one color needs to never happen again.
Yeah, Donald. They also don't wear clothing as Pride Lands animals.
Oh, no. Sora has a necklace.
Sora keeps his necklace, and that's it. It's great.
You want.
So, yeah. So the next thing is Pete the cat. You know Pete the cat from Steamboat
Yeah.
Willie, and
Yeah.
he was Goofy's neighbor on the Goof Troop. He
Yeah.
also goes to the Pride Lands,
Mm-hmm.
and can you
He's
guess
a
his?
villain, isn't he?
Well, obviously he's a villain.
He's
he
not
a
always a villain.
He's almost always a villain.
He's not a villain anymore. And like in Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, he's just like one of their friends.
Mickey Mouse Clubhouse is canon to nothing.
Yeah.
Don't you speak that name in my presence.
Usually Pete is a villain. If he's a villain, I'd say he's probably a hyena.
Okay, Brandon.
I did see the image
Okay.
when you passed
So,
it over.
Pete is a lion, but he's really fat, and he has this same dumb like Pete face.
I'm gonna be completely honest. I thought he was a gorilla from the image that I saw like across the room.
I was just gonna say it looks like a gorilla.
Yeah. So his first scene in the game in Pride Lands is he shows up and he's a lion and he's like influencing Simba to be like he's trying to influence like the darkness in Simba's heart. And he shows up, he's on Pride Rock, and he immediately slips and falls down the mountain.
Good.
It's Pride Lands and Kingdom Hearts 2 is a good time. There's so much wacky, wild nonsense. Scar is a ghost.
That makes sense.
Uh-huh.
He's not just one ghost though. He's like 1,000 ghosts. So Pride Lands is split up into 2 visits. The first time you go, it's the end of the plot of Lion King. Obviously, you can't span Simba's entire life. So you
Yeah.
show up and he's already in like the paradise area with Timon and Pumbaa.
Uh-huh.
And then you influence him to go back, and he's like scared of like messing up, and you're like, no, it's cool, we have to go back and fight Scar. And then you do that, Scar is defeated, and you leave. Everyone's happy. You go do some other stuff in the game. Not a lot of time passes, like very little. There's no like day-night cycle. We can't tell how much time passes, but it's not a lot. I would guess like a week maybe.
Okay.
You come back. First off, Nala's pregnant. That is,
You know, that probably happened before the final battle.
I mean, maybe, but they do make a point of saying it, and it's weird. It's weird that they make a point of it. So you come back, Nala's pregnant, and you find out that Scar is a ghost that has been haunting the Pride Lands. So everything is not immediately fixed.
Good.
Anyway, you wield a sword in your mouth. It's Goofy runs by spinning. It's great. You can drift.
Tokyo Drift.
Yeah. I need you guys to play Kingdom Hearts 2. We're gonna have like a playthrough someday.
Honestly,
That sounds wild.
It is amazing.
it is a trip, but it's worth it.
Do we have a PS2?
Yeah. Yes.
It's right there.
Oh boy.
I have all of the games.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about that.
Also, I want to talk about the fact that the baby at the end of Lion King is orange, like Simba, but Kiara is canonically the same color as Nala.
Yeah, they do establish that the lions are colored based on gender. And I want to say that when they made the ending of this movie, they had not thought ahead to the Romeo and Juliet plot for the second movie.
Yeah, they probably just were like, hey, look, we want to establish
that he's
The cycle continues.
the cycle's continuing. He has another son.
Yeah.
Boom.
What they definitely were not thinking about was the fucking lion guard.
Okay, all right. We're finally getting to this. Okay, good. I'm glad.
Listen, I knew that's where Heather was going.
I really wanted to talk about this because it's the funniest thing to me.
I have no idea what this is. I have never seen this before.
Great.
I have seen this image that is on our screen currently.
It's like it's the promo on Disney Plus.
On Disney Plus, the movie ended and suggested, and it's Disney Junior, The Lion Guard.
It's a kid show.
Yeah. So it's a spin-off about Kiara's younger brother, whose name I have no... Keon.
Uh-huh.
Who joins the Lion Guard, which is apparently like the royal guard,
Yeah.
but it's like one of every animal. So there's a
So
lion.
you got hang on, hold on. Let me guess.
Okay.
You've got a heron, a leopard, a hippo, and Stitch.
No. You got one right.
You got the lion right, and that's it.
No,
I
you
didn't
got
even
the
say the
hippo.
lion.
He didn't mention Keon.
You got the hippo right. I think
I hope I got the hippo right. I don't know what else that could be.
there's a cheetah. I don't remember what type of bird the bird is, but it's not a heron.
Okay.
And I think the one you said was Stitch is a badger.
I would have guessed some kind of monkey, but
No, he's a badger.
that
And fun
tracks.
fact about the badger, he was also raised by Timon and Pumbaa. So there's
What?
a whole...
Where's that movie?
Okay,
That's
so
Lion King 2.5.
there's a whole episode regarding the fact that technically Simba and that character are like adopted brothers.
Okay.
Good.
It's really weird.
See, like the only thing I knew about the Lion Guard, aside from the fact that it's Kiara's younger brother, is that like apparently Scar was supposed to be. It's like the job of the non-crown prince, like the second born, to be the Lion Guard, and so Scar was also a Lion Guard before becoming the evil British uncle.
Basically, the plot was like he became evil, and like the thing is like the prince in charge, or like the one in charge of the Lion Guard, has like a roar, like it's capital R roar.
They have magic.
It's literally
Oh,
magic. Like they
okay.
can just like summon the power of all the past kings, kind of thing. It's
You'd
trippy,
think it's
feel
a
like-
power they give to the like crown prince, you'd
Right?
think.
I feel like
No.
Scar should have used that.
Well, that's the thing. You have to use it for good, otherwise you lose it. So he tried to like overthrow Mufasa with it and lost it, and that's like he just became really bitter about it.
Is that how he got the scar?
Yes, actually, I'm pretty sure that's how he got his scar. Was like something to do with that.
Yeah.
And like yeah, like the whole like backstory behind Scar is like, yeah, he was the leader of the Lion Guard, and
This was a thing the whole time.
yeah, this was a thing the whole time, and like he had this roar and this magical power, but then he lost it because he was evil, and then he became super upset about it and decided to kill Mufasa.
You know, as you do.
Yeah. But like I love that at the end of Lion Guard, because like Lion Guard's over, like it has an ending, and the ending is that Keon leaves and goes to a different pride in Asia and marries the queen of that pride and becomes the king of that pride.
I mean,
What?
on the one hand, yeah, you can't have like two like mature male lions in a single pride normally. But also, what?
Yeah.
He goes to Asia?
He goes to Asia and like
That's real far from Africa.
yeah.
That's a walk.
But like that's, and like the thing is like it canonically takes place like after or like some point during Lion King 2.
I mean, I
Like
imagine.
Kovu like is there. Nala and Kovu are a thing. And like the thing is like all of Lion King 2, there's a point where Keon's just in Asia for an extended period of time before he goes back.
He
He
makes
comes
this trip
back.
twice?
Yeah, yes, he goes back. And the plot of Lion King 2 is already over.
Just missed it.
And he then like decides, you know what? We have the sister of Keon, or not Keon, Kovu. So like the one other like girl like Badland Lion becomes the new leader of the Lion Guard because technically she's the second born.
She's the king's younger sibling. I guess that makes
Yeah. And so she becomes the new like leader of the Lion Guard, and he just fucks off to Asia to lead a different pride
So hang on. How many times does he
is-
make this trek?
like twice.
He
So
goes,
there and back
And
and
there
there
again.
again?
yeah.
Yeah.
He visits Asia. He's like, oh, that was cool. He goes home. He finds out they gave his position away. He's like, well, I'm going back to Asia then.
I refuse to believe that he's actually going to Asia. I entirely think that it's a scenario like Columbus finding America and thinking it's India.
No, there's
He
a whole
definitely
thing.
walked like 100 miles and was like, this is definitely Asia, right?
No, there's like a whole thing. They show the whole journey like on a map of them like the dots.
Like the Indiana
Indiana
Yeah,
Jones
the
Jones
Indiana
style.
Jones, like here they are, and then like it stops. There's like a scene of them doing something, and then it continues on. Like it's
They
a
have
whole
a whole travel
montage. They have a
montage.
travel montage. It's the funniest thing ever.
Amazing, especially because there's more than one pride of lions in Africa.
Yeah.
He could have just found another pride.
It's really
Anywhere.
funny.
Like, it's ridiculous that he could make a trip to Asia in one lifetime, much less back, and much, much less there again.
And not run into a single kingless pride in between.
It was really it's a trip. Like it's I don't know how else to describe it. It's a kid show and it's wild.
I feel like there's... See, now I want to talk about Timon and Pumbaa, another wild kid show, but on the completely opposite end of the spectrum. Like, Lion Guard is like, yes, we're gonna make up some new canon, and it's gonna be bonkers. And Timon and Pumbaa was like, hey, what if we just weren't canon? Like, Timon and Pumbaa is so off the wall. It's closer to, like, Animaniacs than it
Oh,
is to the
absolutely.
Lion Guard. They, like, spend time in real human hotels. They interact with people. Sometimes they live on, like, a mountain or something. They go vacationing in, like, a snowy resort.
Is this like the equivalent of what they had in the land pavilion for a while with Timon and Pumbaa about like conservation?
It's sort of, yeah, like, there's no message to it, though. They're just running around different locations, sometimes interacting with human people, hunting for bugs, living life.
Yeah.
Hakuna
think-
Matata, my
I
friend.
think Simba shows up in, like, the first episode, and then he's just gone. It's just them.
Yeah, he's got king stuff to do.
Yeah, it's so weird because, like, every other Disney cartoon, like, movie spinoff at the time was like, hey, we're gonna, like, it was more like Lion Guard. It's like, hey, we're gonna expand the canon, we're gonna continue the story, we're gonna be about characters that were the protagonists, but, like, this is all, like, Aladdin is canon to the
Yeah.
movie. Like, it's the stuff that happens in between Aladdin 1 and 2.
Aladdin gets a backstory that's not just grew up on the street.
Yeah,
Like it's wild. Hercules was pretty wild too.
Hercules is a weird in-betweequel. It's like,
Yeah.
this is what he was doing as a teenager, and he meets a different Meg and also Icarus, and he goes to ancient Greek high school with them.
Yeah.
That also sounds like Emperor's New School.
Yes,
Yes,
it does.
Hercules was a little bit more, like, it cared a little bit more about the continuity of, like, yeah, Hades is still a threat. It does make a huge plot hole in that Hades knows Hercules is alive the entire time because they're constantly fighting.
Yeah.
But otherwise, it's like, oh yeah, no, this is just the plot. Hades has just continued to try and, like, kill or depower Hercules, and Hercules gets out of it with his friends, and he meets the other gods. Like, Emperor's New School is just like, what if they were in school?
Emperor's New School was funny though.
It was.
We should probably get back to the Lion King.
I guess.
Maybe.
Listen, we were talking about Timon and Pumbaa until a minute ago.
So, one thing I learned when I was going through the IMDb trivia facts, the line, "What do you want me to do? Dress and drag and do the hula?" completely improvised.
Oh yeah, I can definitely see
That's
that.
great.
Nathan Lane is good at that. Like he's very funny. Nathan Lane is the voice of Timon. He got very quiet when I said that. I wasn't sure if you guys were
Oh, yeah.
confused or.
No. Also, I don't know if it actually is like unscripted or not, but it definitely felt unscripted when Timon and Pumbaa just start singing. What was the song in the
jungle?
In the
Lion
jungle?
Sleeps Tonight, whatever you call that song.
Whatever the title of that song is.
That's it. That's the whole title. In the jungle, the lion sleeps tonight.
Yeah, but you know the song.
Yes.
That whole
Wee!
segment absolutely felt unscripted. That they're like, this is gold.
They were just
gonna
in the
put
booth
this
singing.
It really just felt like they were just kind of
Just
you know,
riffing.
riffing in the sound booth, and then they're like, you know what, we got to put this in now. And then they just tied it into Nala finding Pumbaa.
It was a good transition.
It was.
Yeah. Like I said, I don't know if it was unscripted or not, but it had the feel of it.
So, Josh, you mentioned near the end of the film, after the fight, when Simba passes by Zazu, and it looks like Zazu is supposed to say something.
Yeah.
He was supposed to say something, but it ended up just being cut out for some reason.
Okay.
He was supposed to say "Your Majesty"
Oh, that's what it was.
as he passed by, but it just like didn't get recorded.
Oh, they just never recorded it.
Yeah, they just didn't record it. So Simba just walks by Zazu, dead silent.
Mr. Bean was busy.
Ah, I see. Actually, I remember reading something about that, and I was like, they called out the fact that they had already animated his mouth moving, and that he bowed, and I couldn't remember what he said or why he didn't say anything. But yeah, that makes sense. They just forgot to record a line there, so they were like, well, we're not gonna reanimate him not talking now.
So they definitely did re-record that in like the re-releases, right? Because like
I'm not sure.
they recorded Rowan Atkinson singing a whole song.
I have no idea.
Like, what are the odds that they forgot twice?
Maybe they left it in on purpose.
They could, but it's a weird. Like, I know some things. It's like, we left it in because it's like a fan favorite Easter egg or whatever. But this is just like we messed up real bad, and we couldn't fix it.
I mean, honestly, is it real bad? Most people don't even notice it
I guess not.
because it looks like he just bows. It's not unless you're really looking at his mouth and go, hang on, was his mouth moving? Is he supposed to say something? It just kind of looks like he's silently mouthing something to him.
Another thing that IMDb told me about Zazu and dubbing is in the German release, when the hyenas put Zazu on the like steam vent for the geyser and he screams as he goes up, they just didn't record a scream in the German dub. So he's just silent as he just gets shot off.
It's like, oh no.
Not the birdie boiler.
And that's it.
Good.
Magnificent.
We also almost didn't get "Can You Feel the Love Tonight" in the movie.
Really? I wonder why.
So Elton John was involved in the writing of that song,
Right, he sings it in the credits.
and he was given an early screening of the full completed film, and he noticed that they had cut that song out, and he like went to the producers and the directors and convinced them to put it back into the film.
It's like, hey, look, I worked real hard on this.
Yeah,
You put that shit in there.
it's a good song.
put that shit back where it came from, or so help me.
I feel like the soundtrack to this is right up there with like Tarzan and the, hey, you didn't have to go that hard on this, but you did.
Yeah.
Like the Tarzan soundtrack, just like it's both really good, and it's like, this is an anime movie about some lions.
That you stole from Shakespeare.
Yeah, and allegedly Kimba the White Lion.
Oof.
Oh yeah.
Oof.
But I mean, I appreciate it.
Yeah. The music was real good. I mean, just classic.
Truly.
I think the Tarzan music just like hits differently though.
Oh, it does. Well, because part of it is that the Tarzan music was, and this is actually a detriment to some people. The Tarzan music was widely written to be like radio music. Like if you notice, none of the characters really sing any of the Tarzan songs. They're all kind of vague.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
none of them explain or are about what's actually happening.
Because Tarzan's not a musical.
Right. It's just a movie where music happens in the background for montages sometimes.
Yeah.
And so none of those songs are musical songs. They're not, the character is feeling a height of emotion and this song pushes the plot forward. It's just, hey, Tarzan's growing up and we have some dope music in the background while it's happening.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, they're all really good songs. Music-wise, like movie-wise, they're not necessary.
Yeah.
I would not cut them out for love or money, but yeah, they're very important culturally.
I feel like we might cut out some of the talk about the Lion Guard.
That's all gold.
That's cool. I don't know what you're
That's
talking
awesome. Why would we cut out the Lion Guard?
about. Lion-Guard's good. I want my Stitch comment to be in there.
Yeah.
Oh, that'll be in there.
Because
no.
come on, you can't tell me.
No, yeah,
It does
looks
absolutely.
like Stitch.
What was his name? I want to say his name was Bunga. Like his catchphrase is Cowabunga. Like
Oh,
that
that's
is his catchphrase.
Terrible. That's lame.
Cowabummer.
Yeah, see that Cowabunga hasn't been cool since like the original Ninja Turtles did it. And ever since then, it's just kind of a reference.
But yeah, pretty sure the
Hold on. We have to have like a. We're coming back into the podcast thing. We can't just like
No. We're just gonna continue on from
Okay,
there.
hold
We'll
on,
find a way to
hold on, hold
transition
on.
into it.
that.
Life finds a
that's
way,
so
Josh.
hard. That would be so hard to
Okay.
make a transition
Okay.
there.
Okay. I wanna find the names of all the okay. So there's Keon,
Right?
there's Fuli.
Which one is that the bird?
No, Fuli is the cheetah.
That was my next guess.
Bunga.
Of
was
course.
right.
Everyone's favorite.
Bunga. Ano is the bird. I don't even want to try and pronounce the hippo's name.
How's it spelled? It looks like Beshti.
That was my guess. I didn't want to say it because I was scared. I didn't want to mess it up.
What, be wrong on the internet?
Oh no.
What's the worst that could possibly happen?
No. Yeah, there's also a hyena that Keon befriends named Jasiri,
Okay. It sounds fairly normal.
spelt like it's Siri with JA in front of it, and I love it.
Yeah, no, that seems really normal actually. I think Bunga was like the standout WTF name. That was the last character they named. They ran out of ideas. Do you remember the Aladdin character whose name was Abysmal?
Oh my goodness. It's terrible.
His name was just Abysmal. It was great.
I do want to say that in the Lion Guard, you guys know who Dan and Phil are?
Yes.
Yeah, Dan and Phil voiced two gorillas
No.
in the Lion Guard. In fact, the reason they went to Asia was because they had to escort them because they were both like princes, like they were gorilla princes, and they had to escort them back to Asia. And that is the reason they go to Asia in the first place.
This sounds so far-fetched.
Well, I was actually at like the perfect amount of like, oh, I know just enough about the Lion Guard that it's funny. Now I'm upset.
Oh, good.
Well-
Good.
This has been Lion King.
It certainly has.
I'm Josh.
I'm Brandon.
I'm Jack.
And I'm Heather.
Good night, everybody.
You can all now be cursed with my knowledge of the Lion Guard.
They don't all need a stinger.